public and private schools, adding that when the Ria Taylor administration took over, there were about 9 to 10,000 teachers on government payroll. Bomi County Senator Edwin Snow has accused the Liberian government of shortchanging the county by more than $500,000 United States dollars in payment made from the Western Cluster Social Development Fund. According to Senator Snow, the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning has deliberately withheld funds, hindering the county's planned development projects. The actions of the government have not been well received by county citizens. He also pointed out that it took the government 9 months to disburse the funds, and instead of paying in US dollars, they provided a significant portion of the money in Liberian dollars. This resulted in Bomi County being shortchanged by $500,000 due to unfavorable exchange rates. Senator Snow also accused the Minister of Internal Affairs, Vani Salif, of withholding a substantial portion of the county's funds in the ministry's account. He appealed to the Senate pro tem to intervene and ensure that the county can access its funds. Stakeholders of the agricultural sector of Liberia have been cautioned to prioritize the consumption of locally produced rice for all organized workshops and programs across the country. The executive director of the Community of Hope Agriculture Project, Bishop Robert Bimba, made the call recently. Bimba said, for so long, the consumption of imported rice has been prioritized over local rice for major events hosted by the country's agricultural stakeholders, which, according to him, is impeding the income of smallholder rice farmers. He said, priority for the consumption of local rice by institutions is going to create more market opportunities for smallholder rice farmers to improve income generation. The United Nations Sustainable Development Goal 2017 Zero Hunger Strategic Review Report on Liberia set as a priority the purchase and consumption of homegrown produce, edibles, cassava, rice, and etc. by institutions to ensure market opportunities for smallholder farmers. However, a recommendation of the report is yet to be taken seriously by the stakeholders, and the CHAP executive director concern comes following his organization signing an agreement with Concern Worldwide to supply the entity with locally produced rice for its workshops and programs. Concern Worldwide, an international organization that has worked in the sector since the end of the civil crisis, has committed itself to the produce or the purchase and consumption of local rice going forward at all workshops and programs they intend to implement. UCL is holding series of regional summits drawing participants from across the nation to address the topics of youth political participation and the promotion of non-violent elections in Liberia. The summit is being sponsored by UNDP with funding from the embassies of Sweden, Ireland, the European Union, the Kingdom of the Netherlands. As the forthcoming October 10, 2023 elections in Liberia draw nearer, UCL and its collaborating partners are organizing a comprehensive nationwide mobilization initiative known as the Together Summit. The primary objective of this effort is to advocate for elections that are devoid of violence and characterized by an atmosphere of increased youth peaceful participation. It aims to mobilize young individuals from all regions, enhance their understanding of the Farmington Declaration, and unite diverse groups to foster a harmonious electoral process. These events are converting voters from across the counties, encompassing youth groups, women groups, religious organizations, political parties, independent candidates, and civil society groupings. The Board of Governors and Management of the Central Bank of Liberia has refuted a recent Spoon Live talk show claim which alleged unauthorized withdrawal of funds from the bank. The Central Bank of Liberia, in a statement, described the allegation as untrue and outlined steps in the that's encashment of checks as part of its procedure, processes, and control to avert unauthorized disbursement. The steps include ensuring the inability or availability of funds, verifying signatures, seeking confirmation from issuer, approval of authorized signature, and encashment of checks. The CBL statement added that given the steps, under no condition or circumstances can a single individual authorize the encashment of checks or withdrawal of any funds outside the aforementioned procedures. The statement further that the bank is applicable or apolitical and does not subscribe to the abnormal practices as insinuated by the Spoon Talk Show. The CBL Board of Governors and Administration also noted that Liberia is under the IMF program and the fund request daily data in addition to the CBL's normal and external auditors who vet and validate transactions to ensure that CBL operates within the confines of international best practices. The Civil Law Court is seeking the arrest of Representative Creighton Duncan of Sando County for contempt. Representative Duncan arrest, according to our judicial correspondent, is in connection to an action of divorce instructed by his wife, Jamedia Duncan. Our judicial correspondent further revealed that court officers are currently in pursuit of the Sando County lawmaker following Judge Kennedy Peabody August 31st order. The Supreme Court has finally mandated the National Election Commission to enforce its judgment against Dr. Thomas Tuer, alias Original Countryman. The court's August 31st judgment, according to our judicial correspondent, means that Dr. Thomas Tuer dreams of participating in the pending 2023 elections is now over. Our judicial correspondent further revealed that the court's mandate also means that Dr. Tuer's legal team was unable to obtain one of the justices of the Supreme Court signatures for re-argument before the full bench as provided by law. Recently, the High Court denied Thomas Tuer participation to contest the representative seat on grounds that he is not domiciled in District 11, is not eligible to contest in said district, and away from home. The ruling to determine the winner of the 25th February presidential elections in Nigeria is underway in Abuja. The court will decide on the position brought before it by opposition candidates of the People's Democratic Party, the Labour Party, and the Allah People's Movement seeking to overturn the declaration of President Bola Tinubu as winner of the election. That's the news bulletin. Is back to you.
President George Weah has provided the best access to education in Liberia in his first term as president, more than any president in the history of Liberia. According to Minister Daton, despite the many challenges that confronted the Weah-Taylor administration, President George Weah managed to run the affairs of the country in peace and what he termed as prosperity. Speaking Tuesday on our sister program, The Freedom Hub, he named job creation, improvement in the education sector, health sector, stable electricity, and the rule of law as some of the achievements of the Liberian leader.
President Weah made provided one of the best access to education in this country in his first term as president, first year. He made public universities free. And I tell people, if you want to understand, President Weah could have decided to make public universities free this year or maybe last year to score political points. He could have waited for year 5 or year 6 and say, okay, we'll make public universities free with the intent to score political points. But when a president in his very first year decides that no Liberian child should be deprived of the opportunity to go to university if they want to go to university, that's unprecedented. And this was during the time where, you remember, we had inflation the first year, many challenges, but President Weah demonstrated that education is a key pillar for what he wanted. But go beyond just the free public education. President Weah came to power. As we speak, we have over 4,000 teachers that were volunteering, that were transitioned to the payroll. Liberia education system right now, we have 60,000 teachers that covers the country, public and private. 26,000 of them are public school teachers. Many of them, when we came, we had only about 9 to 10,000 on payroll. He created jobs for over 4,000. When the health fund got depleted, 2,500 Liberian health workers were going out of job. This president transitioned them to the national payroll so that you could keep them providing health care services. Correct. This is job creation. I'm debunking those who are saying because the president have taken initiatives. First of all, you have the president have paid WAEC fees for 5 years. We are talking about 240,000 people. So the economic benefits to that is, if 40,000 students every year write this exam, in the last 6 years, he has paid over $20 million for WAEC fees.
At the same time, Minister Daton is calling on Liberians to appreciate President George Weah for his immense contribution to the country. He said when President Weah decided to give out free university education, it was not for Seditians only, but for all Liberians. Daton told Freedom Hub that the thousands of people benefiting from free education are Seditians, people from the UP, ANC, among other political parties.
Liberia is 176 years old.
That's correct.
Subtract the last 5.5 years, you have 170 years. Mm-hmm. What this president have done, nations are not developed to where they needs to get to by governments. Governments provide the means, the necessary things so that people can thrive. What are some of those things that government needs to provide? This president is providing those things. So, of course, when President Weah decided to make public university free, there was no asterisk that said it was for only Seditians. Okay. The thousands of people that are benefiting from free education are Seditians, Unity parties, you name whatever party. He made public education free for all Liberians. When President Weah decides to build road across this country, it is not for one set of people. It is to provide access to open commerce, to open new economic zones, to ensure that businesses can move back and forth. Prices will be controlled because now people can move up and down.
He's Deputy Education Minister for Administration, Latin Daton. They're speaking on Tuesday on our sister program, the Freedom Hub. Grand Cape County Senator Simeon Taylor has disclosed that there will be no peaceful elections conducted in Grand Cape County if the presence of the Liberian National Police is not felt in the county. Senator Taylor's statement was in furtherance to his official communication submitted on Tuesday, September 5, 2023, to the Liberian Senate, which was read in session by the Senate Secretary. In his communication, Senator Taylor recounted that on August 29, 2023, men and supporters believed to be loyal to Idrissa Masale, whose daughter Bintu Masale is a representative candidate, reportedly attacked supporters of Representative Bob Sharif of District 1.
I cannot go in the party. A few days, the police went there in the council I was still around. When I went to do the voter registration, the people took my card, walked the windshield, that investigation is still ongoing. Since 2020, they bring the car, the investigation is still ongoing. They took my car, walked the windshield, the investigation is still ongoing. And every time, so all the president is not. And if the police is not there in that part of the Congress, there will be no forward. And and she becomes all of us. And those who are here, we are the general to come for investigation of the police refusal. So I'm asking them to invite the Special General of Police to come and speak to us. So you can speak to all the
Please, Grand Cape Mount County Senator Simeon Taylor there speaking during Senate plenary. The House Joint Committee has begun hearing on a ratification of the additional 25 years extension for the Butte Mountain Mining Company. This comes following the restated and amended Mineral Development Agreement. Freedom FM reporter assigned at the House of Representatives Yakia Koita has been following the hearing and filed this report.
By the House Joint Committee, the Mineral Development Agreement will grant Butte Mountain an additional 25-year extension for mining operation in Liberia. Butte Mountain operates Liberia's first and largest commercial gold mine in Kinjaw, Grand Cape Mount County. The House's Joint Committee is comprised of members from various committees, including Mines, Energy and Natural Resources, Investment and Concession, Agriculture and Judiciary. The restated and amended Mineral Development Agreement is of paramount national significance, governing the terms and conditions for mineral exploration and exploitation within the nation. It defines the responsibility of the involved parties, outlining benefit sharing, environmental safeguards, and social development commitments. During the hearing, Anthony Mollywood Gray, chairman of the Inter-Ministerial Concession Committee, highlighted that under the 25 years agreement, Butte Mountain is obligated to invest an additional US $520 million. Gray outlined 4 key areas for investment, including a $70 million commitment to the Leopard Rock Reserve this September, US $150 million at the Montambo open pit mine next month, US $200 million at the Nat Blama mine by June 2024, and a US $100 million investment at the Montambo Herb Lead. The key figures represent at the hearing include Butte Mountain General Manager Riza Kayumgo, Deba Allen, Country's Manager, Mines and Energy Minister Gister Murray, National Investment Commissioner Manewula Gray, and Acting Justice Minister Yantin Twa, representing the National Bureau of Concession, with Diana Harry and Wilbon Yasia, with Gabriel Montgomery, Deputy Commissioner General for Technical Services, representing the Liberia Revenue Authority. Lofa County District Representative Clarence Masakwe, chair of the Joint Committee, who presided over the hearing, emphasized the House's commitment to safeguarding public interests. The committee is dedicated to a thorough review of the Mineral Development Agreement, fostering public participation, including input from affected communities and counties. The committee has requested several documents to support their work, including a list from the company's shipments over the past 6 months, information on the number of employed Liberian citizens, local content details, and an overall performance report, among others. The hearing involved lively discussion with the participation of several lawmakers, including Representative Akaras Gray of Moshalo County District 8, Vincent Widow, Grand Bassa County District 4, Dixon Sibo, Moshalo County District 16, B. Marjorie, Maryland County District 1, Johnson Kweklo, Nima County District 9, and Rosalind Swak Dennis of District 4, Moshalo County. Robert Hines, Director of Press at the House of Representatives, stated in a release that the public hearing marks a significant step towards ensuring transparency, accountability, and the public participation in managing Liberia's valuable mineral resources. This hearing provides an opportunity for all stakeholders to voice their opinions, concerns, and recommendations.
His reporter assigned at the House of Representatives Yeke Koita with that report. A group under the banner Students Against Drugs is calling on the government of Liberia to dismiss the Director General of the Liberia Drugs Enforcement Agency, Michael Zoyu, and his deputy, Lorenzo Pelham. Addressing a news conference Tuesday in Painesville, the head of the Students Against Drugs, Michael Lahad, alleged that the two individuals are in the constant habit of distributing, supporting, and facilitating drugs and harmful substances, and also protecting drug dealers.
The Drug Free Africa, in collaboration with Students Against Drugs, Star Liberia, and all its partner institutions, is calling the government of the Republic of Liberia, His Excellency Dr. George M. Weah, to immediately dismiss Director General Criminal Justice Marcus G. Zeryu, Unit 700, along with his getting high deputy criminal Lorenzo P. Doyle Penham, Unit 702, for their constant habits in distributing, supporting, facilitating just and harmful substance, and also protecting drug dealers at the same time taking tips and bribes from drug dealers across the country. We will not believe it that the Drug Free Africa, in collaboration for Students Against Drugs, Liberia, and its all partner institutions and the government of the Republic of Liberia seriously fighting against drugs. And this war of against the drugs has been won by the government through the 54 legislature by passing the drugs law as a non-payable offense. At the same time, rely on the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency to defend and protect the 206 voters across Liberia. Those wicked directors, criminal justice Marcus Zeryu, Unit 700, along with his getting high deputy Lorenzo P. Doyle Pan, Unit 702. Majority so-called unprofessional LDA are selling, supporting, distributing illicit drugs and harmful substances to our various ghettos across Liberia. It can be reported on August 12, 2021 at the LDA warehouse when wicked lackadaisical created an undefeated director who has never served as even a gay man before impression of getting high. Criminal Lorenzo P. Doyle Penham, Unit 702, stole 30 plates of dangerous substances, hardcore marijuana, which was taken from the warehouse and supplied to his so many ghettos across Mosolata County and Liberia. Today, he still works without fear and conscience with the LDA. This careless, don't care deputy director Marcus Zeryu has not come to the public to say anything positive or make a report to us, his boss, because we pay into our taxpayers' money. But instead, unlawfully dismissed chief of operation at the Nubitan duty, which will Island in presence of Sue Esu ID number 026, who is so much loyal and committed to the working tirelessly to defend, protect, and make Liberia a just-free state all 30.
Why? When contacted, the Liberia Drugs Enforcement Agency Director of Communications, Michael Gipley, dismissed the allegation against the LDA Director and Deputy Director General, terming it as false and misleading. Gipley added that the LDA, under the administration of Michael Zeryu, has clamped down on illicit drug activities in the country and has made significant gains in the fight against the menace.
I think the allegation is quite unfounded and lacks the basis of the presentation evidence. So let me say this to you, where if that student was comes from with such an allegation, and there's no, when it's done, such allegation or situation, especially from one party, will never carry out. The reason why I say it's unfounded is like the basis of truth. And we also know that usually when people come with these kind of allegations, they enough to tell the public right if they will come up with evidence to support the allegation. And it's not about Solo Esu, the former employee being deceased. I think if you are equally acting, what method is the reason? One of our Solo Esu was dismissed on the account of recycling drugs. In the LTA, for a conduct in Stephen Manuel, it is unacceptable for officers to get involved in drug recycling. So that can no warrant in dismissal. So I don't know as to whether they didn't tell them that story equally, they didn't even bother to start to see if whether the statement made by students so it has any against our feelings. So we don't want to dignify students being coming up with a funded accusation against the DA. What we can say is that at no point in time, such DA and neither can anyone come up with any such evidence about our office or people involved in this kind of unwholesome act.
Yes, the Liberia Drugs Enforcement Agency and Director of Communications, Michael Gipley, there dismissing the allegation against the LDA Director and Deputy Director General, and earlier on was the head of a student group called the Students Against Drugs. They're calling on the government of Liberia to dismiss the Director General of the Liberia Drugs Enforcement Agency and his deputy. Several business owners at the 14th Gorbachev Market in Omega Peaceville have complained on the deplorable condition of the Gorbachev plantain field near the Omega Ministerial Count. Speaking with reporter Tuesday in Painesville, Helena Van told reporters that since going at the market under the request of President George Weah, they have not seen any change from the Ministry of Public Works at the Gorbachev field. According to her, due to the deplorable condition of the market, they are compelled to use the dirty water to wash the food for selling, something they said is not good for their health and the health of their customers.
Our president, we want him to come here to see this place. The public works minister, since we came here July 12th, we obey the president mandate that we should come here. Since we came to the one we have been here, you see my feet. It is where the market come, when the market leave from the market, from the farm. We receive the market here, but the market ended this month, and we believe that it's a hazard. We are speaking on public health, but this also can pollute the food for us. It cause contamination for the consumer. Because we receive no rest of the market in the market, and the people are very careless, they will not wash it properly. But when we receive the market to a very safe area, when it go on, it reduce the health condition of the people, but our people are getting infected. And for us to come to us, to see to that this may be prepared for us. We need shelter. We need this place to be laid out. We need cement. We can't put our market. We can't continue in this month. When it is 6 months, we use our feet in the river, our toes. We get fungus in our toes. So we are calling. Let them come to help us, please. We are mothers.
She's Helena Var. They're one of the marketers in the Gorbachev market. They're complaining on the deplorable condition of the plantain fee in the Omega market. Well, folks, if you're just joining us, you've been listening to a 30 minutes of news presentation that brings development from Liberia, Africa, and the rest of our world. Before we take our leave, a recap of stories we followed. Senate plenary reclaims its previous position to postpone the confirmation of 7 nominees by President George Weah to serve as commissioners at the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission. Deputy Education Minister Lateem Daton lavishes praises on President Weah for providing access to education in Liberia in his first term as president. Bome County Senator Edwin Snow accuses the Liberian government of shortchanging the county for more than $500,000 United States dollars in payments made from the Western Cluster Social Development Fund. And away from home, the ruling to determine the winner of the February 25 presidential election in Nigeria is on the way in Abuja, according to the BBC. Many thanks to the news director, the news editor, and all those who helped in making this presentation a success. Anthony Phillips brought us the news bulletin and the foreign development. Marvis Dagwa Sala control and handle the technical aspect. I am Esther Baku. I anchor this presentation. Good afternoon from Monrovia.